Murder incited by bronze coins. Blood feud between two legendary families. A shocking bloodbath on the verge of breaking out. At this key moment of imminent peril, our civilian police and the aunties in our local district council make their way hastily to the scene to mediate. And, after implementing the patriotic ideological education of harmonious society, everyone's responsibility on the two violent suspects, both suspects realize their wrongdoing, shake hands, and forgive each other. And another tragedy is stopped in its tracks, demonstrating again the important function of the mediation system. Don't laugh. Do you think that mediation was something that only appears in mindless news? No, it's right by your side. For example, if your company doesn't pay your salary for 3 months, what do you do? Shoot your boss, sue, or mediate? If those aunties dancing in the square make a racket and I can't study peacefully, what do? Shoot them, sue, or mediate? If Party A doesn't comply with the contract, makes ridiculous requests, and not only delays payments, wants longer time for the work, what do? Shoot them, or shoot them. In 2012, there are more than 8,100,000 civil dispute mediations carried out through the judicial administration alone, not including the work of urban neighborhood committee aunties. You can imagine, if these disputes that could be resolved through mediation were all put into the judicial process, then no longer would Xiang encircle the earth, but these dossiers instead. In most scenarios, judicial adjudication is not always the best method of resolution. It is instead a last resort to resolving dispute. We don't recommend everyone run to the courts with every little thing. Let's keep it to serious matters. But mediation doesn't mean that simply tolerance will patch up the quarrel and leave everyone happy. Rather, in the overall frame of rule of law, the disputing parties calmly say what they need to say, and if it's my wrongdoing, I'll compensate. But if it's your fault, I won't let you go, and eventually, an agreement both parties are happy with will be made. But what happens if they can't agree? Well, then I guess all we can do is see you in court. Mediation takes many forms. The urban neighborhood council aunties are civil mediators. If a legal case hasn't started, or if it started and the parties don't want to continue, mediation undertaken by judicial officers is called judicial mediation. If you ask a policeman or other administrative organ, it's called administrative mediation. These three types of mediation are jointly called the Big Three mediations, from small to large, from shallow to deep, from point to surface. Multi-layered and multi-perceptive resolution of disputes, striving to stop all disputes at their sprouts. In recent years, the Big Three mediation system has risen in the international community, scientifically named ADR, but in comparison to system, they are still too young. As early as ancient times, we already had an example Shun's mediation of the agricultural and fishing industries. The Zhou dynasty had implemented a special mediator post, responsible for the harmonization of all difficulties and disputes among civilians. The master even said, "It takes two to tango. Don't hit up the courts every day. Enlighten and educate. Rely on yourself to be a queen." Later, after Confucianism became the official doctrine, an emphasis on education and the notion of non-litigation left a strong mark on ancient China's legal practices, continuing to this day. The Big Three mediation system is rooted in our nation's social culture, not only inheriting the ancient notion of non-litigation, but also endowed with a new value system of democracy and rule of law. There is no doubting that as the mediation system evolves, our nation's legal system will excel even further.